Hey everyone, welcome into Dom Time. Fun show tonight, but a bit of an aspect of mourning. I'm already mourning, and Breaking Bad still has their last full season to go, and I need something to replace that. Have you gotten into that where you say to the person, I've asked on my radio show, hey, something like Breaking Bad is over. The Wire I had this with too, and I was very late to The Wire, but I'll tell you, the magic of it at the end, particularly the white detective, who puts this whole scam together.
The Wire was an amazing show because of its intensity, and the same thing that Breaking Bad had. It has that intensity and that intelligence that went along with it. Although and a different type. In Breaking Bad, obviously, you're going to get into retribution eventually. But in The Wire, again, it's like Dexter, going after people who really need to go over, but so cleverly, and also a lot more suspensefully, and a lot more danger than other shows do, I think.
All right, so what do you have for me to replace it? I'm marking it down right
I'm still
here.
trying to think, and I think we have to go back to Netflix with House of Cards.
House of Cards. Yeah, I've only watched it once or twice. Big Kevin Spacey fan. I like Washington, as you know, the Inside Game. Yeah.
So that works. And of course, there's always Homeland. If you haven't been into Homeland,
I don't have cable. I mean, I don't have.
Well, there you go.
I don't have HBO, and I may have to get it.
HBO makes it harder. It does make it harder because HBO, if you go to a Hulu or a Netflix, they'll say you have to subscribe to HBO.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you the show.
That is $69.
This is my best recommendation. Season 2 will be coming, but I think you can get season 1 on FX, and that is The Americans.
The Americans.
If you're of a certain age, if you're 40-ish, a little bit plus, you see Carrie Russell in this fake marriage with another KGB agent, all the internal family struggle during the Reagan era. Oh, it is just, what were the Russians thinking? When Alexander Haig is running around, I'd be worried too if I were the Russians.
Well, there you go. And of course, anything historical, that's now nostalgia. I think it was 1980, and I think it's yesterday. But other people, it's history.
It's my sons. Whoa, they had to look at that cell phone. It's a giant cell phone.
To put it in perspective, I have to think, in the 1980s, what did I think of the 1950s? That's the way.
That's what it's right.
That's the way I have to look at it, because I think of the 80s. I was already writing in the 80s, so it just seems like yesterday to me. But anything that has that historical tie, and I think you'll see more of that. I think you're going to see more going back
to boomers,
back to the Cold War, go back to that, because that was really two things for two reasons. One is because it's a really dramatic period, and if you think of the Cold War and you think of how people like Eisenhower and Nixon and Reagan on the American side, and Brezhnev especially, and Khrushchev and obviously Gorbachev on the Russian side, really did have that bond that they knew was mutual suicide if those missiles crossed, and really believed, starting with Eisenhower, who stated at first that it wasn't going to happen. So there's drama there. And I think people want to see that also politically correct. The villain today would be the terrorist, and would probably be Arab. And therefore, God forbid, you should villainize anybody and show that on the air. I mean, George Clooney can do it in a movie, Brad Pitt can do it in a movie, but they'll speak about it terribly if you do it on television.
Exactly. Let's talk about a couple of other shows too. One, Dexter, we talked about. Downton Abbey, you mentioned. But Weeds, I've only seen the trailers. I don't think I've ever. Where's Weeds? Is that going off?
No, Weeds is going off too.
It is. Oh my God, what a loss! But tell me.
But Weeds, what worked with Weeds is just how amoral Mary Louise Parker was, and how much you liked her. See, again, everything in a television is how much do you like the character. That's why a Dexter can win. That's why a character like Mary Louise Parker can win. Look at Bryan Cranston in Breaking Bad. I mean, he was doing everything you would decry, even if he thought he had a good reason to do it, and he was really affecting lives.
What we should look at, I think, when you look at a show, how good it is. When you look at the Emmys, I look at the supporting actors, and Breaking Bad has the lead actor and two supporting actors.
Supporting actors.
When you start to have that's what I look at in a great show.
When you look at the Emmys and you look at Emmy nominations, and I'm trying to think of, I think for best drama, I picked Homeland for this year. It's my preference, not my guess, my preference. I think when you look at the Emmys, you realize how valuable television is. It's not just the reality shows that are about as real as as I'm trying to think of looking of something fake in here. Obviously, everything here is real, but really, Tom, I didn't know that. There's a story.
Hey, it's TV. Come on.
Anyway, no, but the reality shows aren't real. They're scripted. I had somebody once tell me they felt bad about somebody who was on the Great Chase, The Amazing Race. That's the name of the show, and how they were stranded in India and they didn't have this. I said, what do you mean they're stranded? They have a CBS crew that probably has $10,000 in cash, all the food they want.
Exactly.
Nobody's stranded. So. when you look at the Emmys, you really see the best of television.
Now,
You
let's
see
talk
what
about best of
makes-
TV all time. What would you say your number one TV show of all time
Well,
is?
Mine is way back. Mine goes back to the Honeymooners.
Honeymooners,
Because there's only
okay.
39 of them, and they all stand up. And also, I always said that my whole personality was drafted from Audrey
I
Meadows
can
as
tell.
Alice Crampton.
I can tell
Yeah.
that you got. Now, my all-time would be not The Sopranos. I'd go back almost as far. All in the Family.
All in the Family.
Because All in the Family, I
Breakthrough.
think, could not be put on the air today. Too politically incorrect. But the characters, the stuff that they have, Sammy Davis and Carol O'Connor together, it's just beyond magic.
Well, beyond that, they really brought up things, and
Right.
you had All in the Family doing it on one side and Maude doing it on the other side. So if Archie Bunker became the conservative spokesperson
Right.
for as a character, then you had Maude Beatrice Arthur on one. But you know where they do that? Where you see that type of politics because it's not real people, so they can get away with it. Cartoon characters, The Simpsons. South Park, Family Guy. That's where you hear a variety of politics, and that's where you hear everybody being made fun of
How
in
many
the ways
years
they
is
should
Simpsons
be.
now? I know it was
Simpsons is more than
25.
20 years. Simpsons was the
25
original
at least.
Fox show, and Fox went on the air in 1986 with its schedule, so it has to
27
be
years.
27 years. Yeah.
Wow. All right, Homer, that's good longevity.
Yeah, it is, and he's the one who says things. It's Homer's attitude, or more the South Park kids. They're the best political commentators on the air, bar none. Jon Stewart doesn't hold a candle to them.
All right, Dom Giordano, Mike. That's coming up here. More with Neil Zorn, breaking down what's happening on TV, what do we have to look forward to coming up, and why in the world he doesn't like The Office. Straight ahead on DomTime.